Hey, what's up, parents? My name is Ken.
I'm Ashley.
And we're so excited to be joining you in your phone or computer right now to go over this packet right here. And we're going over this because we're talking about camp. Junior high camp is just coming up right around the corner. We want to get you some pertinent information to you.
Yeah, we need to make sure that you know everything that you need to know to help your junior high student have a phenomenal time up at summer camp.
Yeah, that's right. So if you want to get a copy of this packet, you can go to cornerstoneonline.com / there you go, yes, right here, JH Camp, and it's also at JH Camp Forms. And I guess that really brings us to number one. For your camp forms, just because you register and maybe you put a deposit down, you make sure...
Not done yet.
Yes, what? It's not done yet? What?
Oh my goodness, no, it's not done yet.
Oh, yeah.
You register, that's important in step one, but...
It's not, yes.
You got some camp forms to fill out.
Yes, there's some camp forms. It is a little redundant because there are two things that you're gonna have to do is that you do have a medical form for UCYC, which is the camp that we're staying at, and a medical form for us as well, for Cornerstone. Camp check-in and camp pickup procedures. So vital information at a glance. That front page has all the information that you need. And so what it says here is Friday, June 9th, from 7:15 to 7:45. That's when you're able to check in your students.
We'll have tables set up. We'll have signs out. We'll be checking in your student by last name. So you'll be able to see which line you need to line up in based on your student's last name. I do recommend too, for your sleeping bags, if you're bringing it, put your sleeping bag and your pillow inside a trash bag. Everything gets put under the bus. There's not a lot of space inside the bus. And then once we get up to UCYC, the friendly staffers up there open up our bus and they pull everything out onto the dirt road. So to keep everything clean and tidy, at least to start out the week, that's just a pro tip there for you. And it makes it easy to load up the bags. We will have a girl luggage and a boy luggage bus. The campers can sit wherever they want on the buses, but we will have a girl bus and a boy bus as far as where we put the luggage because it gets offloaded over by the boys' cabin and the girls' cabin once we get up to camp. So be mindful of that when you're dropping off your luggage.
Yeah, camp pickup is also important, and camp pickup is scheduled to be around 2. Notice how I kind of do this. It's around 2, and it really determines by how quickly we pack the bus or when we do reflection, the camp reflection time, how long that takes. It's going to be, we're usually pretty good about 2 o'clock. One thing is that, again, subscribe to this text list. And we'll send out, hey, we are on the way. Hey, we are 15 minutes away. We're 45 minutes away. And also, we're going to be using an app that you'll be able to track us live, and we'll send out the link using this text group. So make sure to sign up for that. And also, a lot of parents sometimes forget this, but make sure to pick up your medication at the end. And so we don't want any leftover medication because in the end, actually, we do get rid of a lot of medication. People just don't want to pick them up for whatever reason. So make sure to pick up the medication.
So up at UCYC, they do a really cool job of creating theme days for our campers. They program the heck out of our week while we're there, and then they throw in all these exciting elements. So we have theme days coming your way for UCYC summer camp this year.
Yeah.
Color Wars.
Yes. The very first thing is that we have color wars. Now, because of how many students, the deadline, and you're like, what color is my child? I want to buy all that stuff.
We have to leave soon.
Yeah, we have to leave soon. We actually don't know the colors until they assign it to us, honestly, probably a few days before camp. So I wish I could give it to you right now. That's not on us. So,
but as soon as we find out, we let you know.
Yeah, we let you know.
And they take color days really seriously in junior high. This is not just, okay, I am on team red, so I'm going to bring a red shirt. Okay, that's a good start.
Yeah, that's a good start.
I mean, think over the top, crazy ridiculous, and then turn it up a notch. Yeah. So really, anything your camper wants to bring is outstanding. Yeah. Party City, Amazon. I mean, the sky's the limit on trying to find things to really amp up their colors.
If you're questioning your son or daughter's wardrobe, That's good. You're like, wait, what, that's a lot of red. You're like, that's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. And the other thing too, it's what's fun is that we really force all our leaders that are going to camp. You are going all out for camp. I don't care. All right. And they'll be participating as well. We'll all be participating. So you can never go too extreme for all this.
Didn't you wear a mustard suit last year?
Yes, I wore a mustard suit for Team Yellow, right? So, and you wore a...
They didn't win.
No.
They didn't.
Wow.
Team Red.
Team Red. And she was in a ketchup costume.
I did. I wore a ketchup costume.
Yeah, so we're in a bunch of different costumes. We're participating as well. So there's Color Wars, Color Team Day. The other thing is Ugly Tie Day.
Ugly Tie Day. Raid the daddy's closet.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
just kidding.
Yeah. Ugly tie day. And don't think just a tie. They could wear it on their forehead or...
Glue a whole bunch to your shirt.
Yeah. That's actually a really good one.
Of course it is.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive.
You
So
know,
just
hit up Goodwill.
ugly. See,
Hit
so
up
it's not
Goodwill.
just a tie, but really go all out.
I mean,
and it's
really,
a lot of fun.
like, think out of the box. Like,
Yeah.
ugly tie.
Yes.
Let's
ugly.
take this to
Pinterest
the
it.
extreme.
Let's use our Pinterest skills.
Pinterest.
Yeah. And again, the more extreme, the better. And why this all happens, not only does it bring
Camaraderie.
camaraderie, yeah, chameleon, chameleon, camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Yes, that word.
Community.
Right there.
It builds community and
it
friendship.
builds community, but also it's a really fun thing to do. It builds a lot of hype and it's a lot of fun and people are laughing and it allows us to not take ourselves seriously. Those walls are just really being broken down. The other thing is this. It's Superhero Day.
I don't know what's your superhero pose?
I don't know. I'm just a superhero. I don't.
You just
Oh look, I'm a junior high pastor. Look.
da, 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 da.
Yeah, just no, this. You know what I'm
What,
doing?
you're just gonna dab it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell your son to stop doing? No, I'm just kidding. We understand. Junior high. All right. So Superhero Day again. Go all out. So let's recap. Color Team Day, Ugly Tie Day, Superhero Day. And that's it. So a lot of parents actually come by even earlier than that and line up. You could just drop them off, and what we are going to be doing is collecting medication and the luggage, and just making sure you guys are hugging and kissing and saying goodbye, teardrops and everything. And our bus isn't scheduled to leave till about 7:45 or so. If there's any late students, we just can't wait, okay? Because our schedule is really, really packed. And so if you happen to be late for check-in for whatever reason, we can't hold the bus. You're going to have to be responsible for transporting your student back up, or really up to Prescott, excuse me.
If you do have a student that has any dietary restrictions, on the registration form we did ask that question, but if something has changed between now and when, or then and now, you do need to reach out to us, email us, let us know, because we can make those accommodations if it's lactose issues, if it's needing to be gluten-free, vegetarian, so that we can let the camp know, because they're more than willing to provide specific food items to accommodate those needs.
Yeah. They'll cook a specialized meal actually just for your son or daughter. So it's actually really cool. And then the other thing that we want to talk to you about is just medical emergencies and whatnot. So UCYC, and it says here as well with the camp nurse is just a camp nurse, not an ER nurse or anything. A lot of the times the problems that arise has to do with hydration is the biggest thing, because we are at a higher altitude, and also students are just running around for 4 or 5 days and they're just not used to it. So make sure to encourage your students to hydrate themselves, to drink a lot of water, and they'll also provide water bottles as well. Yeah, and then also what we typically do when we do take your son or daughter to the urgent care, of course, we're going to get a hold of you. We're going to try our best to get a hold of you. Injuries don't happen all the time, but we will give you all the information possible as we're getting ready to go to urgent care. So whether if it's for medication or if it's a sprained ankle or whatnot, we will do the best possible to try to avoid the emergency room. If urgent care is closed, we do go to the emergency room, and we know the copay for that is much more expensive. So that's when we definitely will be calling you a billion times for urgent care, and a billion more times if we do have to go to the emergency room as well.
And we take your students' health and safety very seriously. And like Ken said, I mean, we don't expect for catastrophic injuries and things like that to happen, but we like to plan for it so nothing catches us off guard and you're not caught off guard either. So that's why that medical release form that you fill out for Cornerstone, as well as the medical release form for UCYC, is so imperative that we have that on file. That gives us permission to treat on your behalf to take the best care of your student that we possibly can, and just ease that communication during a moment where your student might not be feeling so great and we're having to make some swift decisions. So.
Yeah, and the other thing too, we kind of want to transition to this as well, as a lot of students, well, not a lot of students, they sometimes get homesick and they're going to say, hey, we want to call home, I want to talk to mom and dad, and usually it's a hard no to that. We want them to disconnect to technology as much as possible, and we really hope you support that as well. And so a lot of the times students want to hold on to their cell phone. Wow, mom and dad told me to check in, and we just say, hey, you know, it's actually written in here. They're not allowed to take cell phones, and we don't want them to have cell phones because, you know, even though it's good intentions, you do want to check up on them, see how their day is going and everything. What ends up happening is that they end up on Instagram, or they're watching funny videos. They're just distracted the entire time. We want to avoid that as much as possible.
You know, and with that being said too, we have phenomenal leaders that come up and lead your students up at camp, and each one of them makes a really, really intentional effort to reach out to parents while we're up there, sending you pictures, letting you know, hey, we got up here all right, that, hey, here's a snapshot of our day. They really go out of their way to make sure that you've got peace of mind that your student is having a really awesome time, but it also keeps you kind of in the loop of what's going on up the mountain when you're down here in the valley.
Yeah.
You can actually text CS space summer to 39970. And it's a text-in service. We'll be utilizing that for when we get up to UCYC, just to send out a mass text of, hey, we made it safe, we're getting ready to grow closer to Jesus. And then also when we're on our way home, just so that you have a better idea of when you need to physically show up to the Chandler campus to come collect your student at the end of the trip. We understand that our students here at Cornerstone, a majority of them take daily medication, ranging from ibuprofen to inhalers to something a little more intense than that. And we want to make sure that they're able to continue their medication regime while they're up at camp. And the camp nurse is really diligent about making sure that breakfast, lunch, and dinner, bedtime medications are administered and actually taken. With that being said, when we have our check-in, when you drop off your medication, everything needs to be in its original packaging. So if it comes in a little orange bottle and it has your student's name and label and dosing on that, that's how it needs to travel up to camp. It's really, really tempting to go ahead and divide out your student's medication over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that we're going to be up at camp. Please don't. We don't need ambiguous pills floating around. It's not safe for the other campers. And then it's also very confusing for the nursing staff up there to understand what it is exactly that the student is taking. Anything like puffers, inhalers, things like that can be kept on your student's body while they're up at camp. Anything else does need to be checked into the nurse, and they can have access to that at meal times, right before bedtime. And then if there's an instance that it's a per diem type of medication, as needed type of a medication, they can seek out the nurse for that dosing then. If you do show up to drop off your student the morning we leave for camp and medication is divided up between the days, you will need to go home and put it back in the original packaging. They're extremely strict about that, and that's only for the benefit of the safety of your student and the students that are also coming up to camp.
Yeah, and then also just make sure to encourage your students to, hey, remember to take your medication. We're going to do the best we can to make sure that every single student, where there's a checklist and everything, are taking their medication, but also warn them ahead of time, hey, we're packing up the medication, make sure to take the medication. And just the procedures for that is during their lunchtime or their meals, there's a nursing station.
Very convenient.
Yeah, it's super convenient, and they just go in, the nurse goes out and grabs the medication, takes out what they need. So the nurse is handling all the medication and gives it to your son or daughter to take. And so they do that for hundreds of students. So the biggest thing really is to encourage your students to, hey, make sure they go out and take it, because we won't find out until the next meal that they didn't take that.
we do need to make sure that we are being modest in how we're dressing up at summer camp. Shorts should be long enough so that there isn't any extra showing out the bottom, if you're catching my drift. We're looking for about a 2-inch inseam on the inside of the shorts. No spaghetti straps where bra straps are showing. Tank tops are absolutely fine. We just need to have the bra straps completely covered. We do go to the lake and do some water activities while we're up at camp. You're absolutely fine to send a bathing suit with your student. It does need to be a 1-piece. Even a 2-piece with a shirt over the top, the shirts are going to get soaking wet. And at that point, it just looks like you're wearing underwear in a wet shirt, which is not appropriate. So 1-piece, please. We understand that's not the cool thing right now, but up at camp, we're in it to have fun. We're not in it to be cool. So if they complain, tell them Ashley said so.
Ashley did it. It's all Ashley's fault.
All my fault. I will completely own it.
Yeah. The other thing too is actually at the camp where we're staying this year is that there will be a pool that's available as well during their free time, and so they have the opportunity to during their free time just go in the pool and hang out, and so that's part of it too. So as they're walking around the camp and
The housing up at UCYC is actually really amazing. We have the cabins that we are assigned to are communal within your gender. So we'll have a female cabin and a male cabin. And within the female cabin, there may be 4 to 6 rooms. And within those rooms, each room might sleep 8 to 12 girls. All of the female leaders do bunk with all of the girls, and all of the male leaders do bunk with all of the male students. They are separate on each side of the camps. Each cabin does have its own indoor facilities, so toilet, shower, everything is inside. There's no peeing in the woods at summer camp. I know, I'm very thankful.
Yeah. Just make sure to have your junior hire shower. I mean, especially the boys. I'll make sure they shower. I'll hose them down or do something, all right?
Speaking of cabins, we have lots of stuff we put in our cabins when we come up to camp and not a whole lot of space. So in your parent packet, we actually go over a packing list.
Yes.
Within that packing list, you are absolutely going to want to bring a pillow and a sleeping bag. If nothing else, please don't forget your pillow and your sleeping bag.
Yeah.
An extensive list of items that we have suggested on there for you include...
Oh, I'll read it for you. Clothes for the week, and that they can get dirty. So don't bring your Sunday best, right? Modest swimsuit. Your themed clothes and costumes, we'll talk about what that is. Closed-toe shoes for outdoor activities. We're going to be, there's mountain biking available. There's climbing. There's
ropes course.
Yeah, ropes course. There's a lot of fun stuff. So make sure closed-toed shoes. 2 towels, maybe one for the shower, one for the tool. For the pool.
The swimming tool.
Yeah. Toiletries, so shampoo, soap, deodorant, heyo, bedding. And let me give you a tip. I love getting fitted sheets instead of sleeping bags. So typically they're twin beds. Sleeping bag or fitted sheets for twin bed, blanket, and a pillow, flashlight, pen, Bible, notebook, and about $20 or $30 for $20 or $30 for spending money for snacks and souvenirs, just little snacks, and they have some T-shirts, whatever they can buy as well.
There's a bead shack. There's some different activities that they can spend just a couple bucks here and there. So it's just a good time to just have a few dollars to bring with you.
And what's fun is that this is kind of like an all-inclusive type camp. So anything from paintballing to kayaking, horseback riding, all that is included.
Totally included.
You don't need to bring, it's not a cruise excursion or anything. Yeah.
No hidden fees.
Yeah, no hidden fees.
And you don't have to tip anybody.
Right.
I mean, except if you want to tip us, because that would be awesome.
If you want to go to heaven. I mean, that's... Just kidding. Jesus is the only way. Jesus paid it all. All right. What not to bring. Obviously, there's a bunch of stuff on here, a list not to bring. So gaming system, prank items, alcohol, drugs, and stuff. That does remind me for pranks.
Yes. That's a big one.
Yeah, we actually say, hey, zero tolerance for pranks. If any pranks are pulled, then we definitely call you up to pick them up. So, and the reason why is because usually pranks aren't really fun. There's always someone who's the butt of the prank.
But just so you know, UCYC does impose a $500 trespassing fee if students do wander off and get caught trespassing. It's just not good. We haven't had an issue with that in the past, but it is something that we do need to tell you about so that you can help us keep your student accountable and responsible for keeping their body on the property.
Yeah, and just to clarify, because the camp is an older camp, it's built in the middle of a neighborhood, or maybe the neighborhood built around the camp. And so that's why there are some houses here and there. And I'm pretty sure if I lived there, I wouldn't want to live there because of all the junior hires are coming by who may be ding dong ditching and whatnot. And so that's why there's a fine. Hey, we are so excited about camp. And honestly, I know this meeting and everything it just seems a little dry sometimes, a lot of information, but oh my goodness, are your students going to have lots of fun? And we are even praying right now for your son or daughter to really experience God to the fullest. And we can't think of a better way than camp. And not only do we hope for them to really experience God, get to know Jesus in a personal way or grow just a little bit in their faith, but we really hope that they make new friends as well, get to know the leaders. And that's why we were huge on camp and trying to send every kid possible to camp.
We would encourage you to join us in prayer. Pray for your student as we gear up the days coming up before camp, but then also praying over all of the students that are going to camp, even our fifth and sixth grade ministry and our high school ministry as well. Lives are being changed through summer camp here at Cornerstone, and you're a vital part of making that a huge success.
Yeah.